In case you're new here, we do share our real numbers. Don't make life-changing financial decisions during this time of fear and panic.
You look so beautiful, and I'm so lucky to be yours, and you're taking me high.
Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel and to another episode of Focused Fridays. Every single week I post a video on Friday that will help you get focused to tackle something that you need to handle. Maybe it's something you've been putting off, like today is for me, or it's just something that needs done, like the dishes or laundry or whatever it may be. I am getting focused on tackling something, and I hope it will motivate you to do the same. If you're new to our channel, just to quickly catch you up to speed, today is Thursday, April 2nd, and it's almost 10 o'clock at night, and we follow Dave Ramsey's budgeting baby steps, which normally we would have our budget set up before the first of each month. But with all of the craziness that's going on in the world right now, we all got sick. So all four of us, starting around March 13th, March 14th, it started with Anthony, went through the girls, then went through me, and we have not even looked at our budget since March 11th. So we basically failed most of March in doing our budget. But I'm actually kind of glad to have that be the case, because we are human. You are all human. Anybody that is budgeting is going to run into bumps and bruises along the way. And the important thing is not avoiding those bumps and bruises that you're going to get. The important thing is how you're going to react to them. So today I am going to take a look at our budget. I have my cash envelopes here that I have no idea how much is in here. I don't even know for sure if all of our bills were paid last month, so I need to go through and check that and make sure everything got paid. I think everything's on auto pay except for maybe one or two, so I just need to check on that and make sure. And then I need to get April set up so that we are set up to win, because it was definitely stressful not knowing where money was going and how much we were spending in each category and all of that. Now in the past, when this is not the first time that we went a whole month without budgeting. We've done it in the past before, just life gets a hold of us and whatever may be the case, and we just don't make it a priority. And in the past I have tried to go back and catch up, essentially. So I've tried to go back and enter in all the old receipts and enter in to every dollar everything that we spent over the last whatever period of time we weren't tracking. And what I have found is that that is so stressful and hard, almost impossible to do, because you can't really remember 3-4 weeks ago what that Target purchase was, and if you don't have the receipt to be able to itemize it out and put it in categories, it's just impossible, and it's way more stress, and it would make me just not even want to budget. So instead of doing that, I'm going to make sure the monthly bills got paid, obviously, but what we spent on other things like groceries and stuff is just going to be what it is. And I'm going to start with how much money we have right now, minus any bills that may still need to be paid from March. So let's jump right in and get started, and I will just kind of walk you through the process as I'm doing it here. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do here is to just flip it to this first page, which is our bill payment checklist for each month. And as you can see, I did not check off a lot of March because I wasn't tracking. So I just took a second before I did this to hop on to our bank statement and see what did come out and what didn't. So I have that written down here. I'm just going to transfer it over. I know that the dance payment came out, and that was $167.50. The next thing was our rent, and that did come out as well. That's always the same. My life insurance is $52.28, and that did come out. Our water bill we only pay every other month, so that one wasn't supposed to come out, and it didn't. And then I looked up the amount for next month is $207.59. That's due in April, so I jotted that down there. For iTunes, Anthony and I each pay for iCloud, and those both came out, so I can put those two check marks there. Marie, that's our garbage service, and that is also every other month, so it wasn't needed in March. Our car insurance, $109.67, that did come out. YMCA did come out as well. Disney Plus came out. Cricket came out. Our renter's insurance came out. Our car payment, we paid our car off, so we aren't going to have a payment on that for the rest of the year, which is awesome. Internet is the one that is not on auto pay, so I need to go pay that one. Hulu did come out, and then the girls' music class did come out, but I had a credit, so it was, instead of 142, it was 127. Okay, so I'm gonna hop online and pay the internet bill really quickly, and then we will jump to the next task. So this is March's cash envelope tracker and expense tracker. Last thing I tracked was on the 9th. We did check on the 10th, but nothing had come out. So the 11th was the first day that we hadn't checked. I'm not gonna do anything with this. This is where I would in the past have tried to like update the expense tracker and update when cash was taken out of envelopes and stuff, but it's just too crazy and hard and almost never works out right with the numbers, so I'm not going to do that. So what I am going to do is turn to April's calendar. And before I do anything with this, I'm going to hop onto EveryDollar and get the April budget set up in EveryDollar, because it's easier then to just transfer the due dates and amounts onto this paper form from EveryDollar once that's done. So I'm gonna set that aside, and the next thing that I need to do is I'm just gonna take all of the cash out of this envelope, jot down on my notebook here how much cash we have on hand, and add it to what we have in our checking account so that we can know what we're starting with for the month of April. So this is kind of a mess, but we're just literally going to dump it all out. I'm not even gonna worry about old receipts. I'm gonna toss them.
If you are anything like me.
Okay, so everything is out of our cash envelope. And I'm going to sort it out and then just add it all up really quick.
Then right about now, you're asking yourself, what can I do to help out?
Okay, so I took out 4 quarters to make this an even $90 in cash that we have, and then the rest of this change I'm just gonna put into our change bucket so that I don't have to deal with all of this change. Okay, now we've got all of the March bills paid. They're all marked down. We're not gonna worry about expenses like I mentioned. We have gathered up the cash that we have that was just sitting in the envelopes that we had no idea how much was in, and written that amount down, so we now can start doing our April budget. We know how much we have for April. So as you can see here, I have not created a budget for April yet. And you'll notice I say I a lot because I am the one who kind of does the like nerdy type stuff with the budgeting. I do the EveryDollar like setup, and I write in our planner and kind of get everything set up each month because that's something I enjoy, and Anthony does not enjoy that, but we definitely talk about what numbers we're gonna have, and he is involved in the process, updating expenses each day throughout the month and all of that. So we work together on this. I just am kind of responsible for the nerdy part of it. So I'm gonna click here, let's start planning for April. And it's gonna copy March's budget for me so that I don't have to go in and enter all of this every single month. In case you're new here, we do share our real numbers, but we have several different income sources, and just for partial privacy's sake, we just shared the total amount of income expected to be received instead of the itemized where each part of our income is coming from. So I am just going to adjust that really quickly. I've adjusted our income and how much money we have on hand, and we are starting with $5,601.48 is how much we expect to receive and how much we have on hand this month. So now we are gonna start the process of putting that money different places. We actually do need to add to our emergency fund this month because in March, obviously that is when everything started going crazy with people hoarding things and stockpiling and having stay-at-home orders placed. So we normally wouldn't do our grocery shopping and like our bigger purchases until around the 22nd of the month, because that's when Anthony's second paycheck comes in. But since that all started happening earlier in March, we decided to take money out of our emergency fund and use that to get what we needed for groceries and things like that, and for the girls' homeschool and for Easter and things like that, in case things were to shut down, which I'm glad we did because they're obviously shut down now. So we are going to put $500 back into our emergency fund, and I do need to adjust this down, what we actually have. So this is how a fund works. So when you have a fund, it basically adds in what you are paying into it that month to what the remaining total that you have saved is. So in March we didn't track our budget, so I hadn't tracked that we spent $500 of our emergency fund, and so it thinks we now have $1,500 if we put this $500 in now. So I am just going to click on the fund details, and starting balance in April, excuse me, was $500, not $1,000. And then I'm going to click save. And now you can see that we have $1,000 remaining. Once we put this $500 in the account, it'll be back up to $1,000 and we have our emergency fund. Carry over to, it's April, so now carry over to May. We're gonna keep that at $400, that's always our goal. So going through the bills here, we have our security system, Anthony's life insurance, my photo editing software. Electric this month is a little bit higher. I checked earlier, it is $193.71. Our rent stays the same. Epidemic sound stays the same. My life insurance stays the same. Dance class, I'm not sure what's happening with that, so I'm going to keep it the same. They've been doing YouTube videos for classes, so I think everything is going to stay how it is, but just in case, I'm going to leave it and not expect anything different. Our garbage bill is due this month, and that is $74.12. iCloud storage, the girls Let's Play Music, they are doing virtual music classes now. $109.66 for our car insurance. The water bill is due, that one is $207.59. The YMCA we actually canceled because we're not going to be using it, so we decided to cancel that one. Disney Plus, Cricket, our cell phones, Anthony's iCloud storage, our renter's insurance, car payment, that can just be deleted because we don't have a car payment anymore. Hulu, and then the internet will actually only be $35. Okay, so those are all of our monthly bills that are going to be coming out and how much their amounts are, except dance class might be a little bit less. I'm pretty sure I have a credit going on to there. So anyways, we're just gonna leave it like that. But now we're gonna go down to envelopes. So these are the categories that we either have cash envelopes for in the wallet I showed you, or we have electronic envelopes, which are basically savings accounts that we have through our bank that we transfer that money to. So one or the other. We're gonna keep groceries at $600. Gas we can drastically decrease because we're not allowed to drive anywhere. We're not really allowed to go anywhere other than the essentials. So honestly, I'm gonna drop this down to $100, which might even be too much. So Anthony's haircuts, he is gonna wait until all of this is over with to get his haircut. I'm gonna keep $15 in there in case he's able to go like towards the end of April or something. We wanna make sure we have that. But he's not expecting to be able to go get his hair cut this month at all. We'll see if he gets desperate enough to let me do it. Eating out, I'm gonna keep it 100. Obviously restaurants are closed, but drive-through and curbside pickup and delivery are still going, so who knows what happens and if we're gonna want to grab something there. Household personal care, that's toothbrushes, toothpaste, toilet paper, foil, Ziploc bags, all that kind of stuff. I'm gonna keep that what it is. Pet care is at $40 and I'm gonna keep that. Bailey and Quinn's commission, they're home even more now, so I'm definitely keeping that because they have a lot more opportunity to earn that money. We're not gonna put anything in our fun money. We can't really go do anything anyways. Same with entertainment. $100 in miscellaneous. Sports and activities, we definitely don't need $150. We already paid for Anthony's softball season, which is supposed to start the first week of May, and we'll see if that actually happens. And the girls are set up. I do need to buy Bailey tap shoes if we do end up being able to have a recital. But other than that, I think we're set up. So I'm just gonna put $50 in sports and activities. Vacation, we are not adding anything to this month. Our vacation is not until August, so I'm hoping this doesn't affect it at all. The campsites are already paid for. So we just need to save up for like the groceries and souvenir type stuff that will go along with that, but we are not going to start that right now amidst all of this chaos. We are just going to save what we can elsewhere. Car care, $50. Clothing, the kids consignment sale that I normally get the girls clothing at was supposed to be middle of March, and obviously that got canceled. It is scheduled for the first week of June now, so I think I'm going to keep $140 going into that because I want to have that ready in case we are still able to have the sale in June. And at that point, I will know exactly what we need for our baby who is due June 24th. So we're going to need a little bit more for him as well. So I'm going to keep $140 going into that. But like I mentioned before, going to the fund details, I had actually transferred what we had in our savings for clothing to be able to get the things we need in addition to the $500 from the emergency fund. So we actually are starting with $0 in that fund. The sale got canceled. We didn't need the money at that point. We knew it was going to be a couple months till we did need it, so we just decided to go ahead and do that. Gifts, we're adding $40. Birthday parties, I'm going to keep it how it is right now at $80. Their birthday parties aren't until July and September, so I doubt those are going to be affected too much. But I had planned to purchase a lot of this stuff and start working on it now. And so I'm going to have that building up, but I'm not going to be spending it yet because who knows what's going to happen. Luckily, Anthony works in an industry that is definitely essential for this time period. And so his income shouldn't really be going down, but mine definitely is a little bit, and we just don't want to spend money on unnecessary things right now. So we're gonna have that sitting in that savings account, and that way we can transfer it and use it if we absolutely need it, so we don't have to touch our emergency fund. But I am gonna put that towards there. Water, sewer, garbage fund, we don't need to add to this month because we're actually paying the bill this month. In case you've never seen one of our videos before, on the off months where we don't have to pay for water, sewer, garbage, we put $150 into that fund so that the following month we don't have this huge bill between the two of them that we need to pay, that it's like kind of half, roughly half each month. Homeschool, we're going to keep at $75. The Puyallup Fair, we're going to keep at $40. And baby has just been kind of saving up what we can, and I think we're just going to put that at $200 for this month just to have it be an even set number. So we have all of our expenses listed out and how much money needs to go into each one. We know exactly where all that money is going to go, but we still have $294.77 left to budget. So if you're new to Dave Ramsey and zero-based budgeting, you want to budget every single penny somewhere, whether it's a savings account or to a bill, or maybe you want to add to a fun money fund, or whatever it is that you want to add it to, you can go ahead and do that. So for us, we have decided that any extra, we are going to add a category in savings called just in case. And with what's going on right now, this is literally just going to be until all of this stuff that's going on in the world right now is done, and everybody, all the stores open up back up again, and life kind of gets back to whatever it's going to look like. Once all this is over, we are going to be putting money that we have that's extra into there. We're going to stockpile it as much as we possibly can And then worst case scenario, my tutoring income, I have an in-home tutoring business that I tutor middle and high school students primarily. And in the summertime, obviously, that's not as needed. I still do things like SAT prep and summer school and things like that, but my income definitely gets cut during the summer, which is when we spend a lot, like the girls' birthdays. I guess we don't spend a lot compared to what some people spend, but we spend more during the summer than we do when it's not summer. When we go camping, we spend a little bit. We have a budget for that. And we also have our baby coming in June, the beginning of summer, and I don't know how much time I'm gonna need to take off for that. If it's anything like the labor with the girls, then hopefully it's gonna be like a week and then I'll be back to tutoring. But we don't know how that's gonna go. So worst case scenario, this just in case fund will kind of be a cushion for us for the summertime to kind of be able to allow us to let things up a little bit. So that's okay with us to have that there just in case. Now that the budget is done on every dollar, I am just going to transfer the monthly bills that are due into the calendar. I won't bore you with that because it's literally writing the information that we just went over. I'm also going to put this $90 that we had, I'm going to put it straight into our grocery envelope right now with the 4 quarters because Anthony is going grocery shopping this weekend. So we need to go do that. Since we have this money on hand already, we're just gonna keep it in there obviously. But because of the risks of transmission of the virus that's going around, we are not going to be pulling out cash to put it into these envelopes this month, which scares me a little bit because we have gotten so comfortable using cash and tracking it, and we have done so well on it that it scares me to go backwards. But I think as long as we keep a ledger in each category, I'm just gonna kind of put a little piece of paper, a little index card into each envelope and still keep like a ledger in there of what we spent in that category along with the normal tracking that we do. So I can have something like physical to grab from the envelope and see and be able to use. I hope this video was helpful to you guys. This is a time where it's even more important to get yourself on a budget, every single penny, that you know what's going to come in and where it's going to go, and to be disciplined in sticking to those amounts that you choose to set for yourselves, because we are all in such a state of unknown right now, and it can be scary, but all you can do is control the things that you can control and not let fear dictate your decisions. My advice to you is, if you have done budgets before but you've let it up, kind of like we did this last few weeks, get back on it. Don't try to catch up. Don't try to fill in all of the gaps if you're a perfectionist like me and really want to do that. Just start from where you're at today, what you have, what you expect to come in the rest of this month, and where all of that money is going to go, so you can really see, because a lot of times it'll give you peace of mind because it'll give you control over something. And in this time of craziness, having control over something is huge to maintaining your sanity. Control what you can, not only with your budget, but just in your daily life. But also, the biggest advice I have is don't let fear control you, because there's really no use stressing out about it and being panicked and fearful about it when you can't really change it. None of us can change what's happening right now. So make sure your family is fed. Make sure you're budgeting, you're telling your money where it's going to go so that you have control over that, and you just take that one less worry and stress off your plate. And do not make decisions based on panic, especially financial decisions. In anything in life, you never want to make a decision that is coming out of a place of fear or panic, because it's never going to be a good one. If you are struggling with money right now, don't go get a loan. That's going to make it worse. You're just going to keep digging your hole even deeper, and it's a guarantee it's going to make the situation worse. Don't pull any money out of your investments unless it's to avoid a foreclosure or bankruptcy, which kind of are on hold right now. So you hopefully wouldn't have to worry about that. Hopefully mortgage companies are working with people and kind of giving a little bit of leeway in this crazy time where a lot of people have lost their jobs. Don't make life-changing financial decisions during this time of fear and panic. So I hope you all are staying safe. My heart goes out to everyone who has been affected by this, with losing people or losing jobs. Control what you can control. Stay positive as much as you possibly can. If you feel fear and panic setting in, do something to turn that around. And as always, remember to stay humble, be kind, and I will see you guys next week.